All right, you guys. So this right here is real. I don't think it's gonna get any realer than this. Cause right now, y'all, I'm shaking in my boots. I'm scared, and I feel like I had a message from yesterday, and I still have it written out, and I'm still gonna talk about it. But let's just dive directly in. Part 2 from the video from yesterday. Okay. So first, and it's so crazy because God is telling me to talk about this part first. So, all right. Y'all know I'm in a space right now where I am literally, and I'm trying my best not to be emotional, where I am literally trying to figure myself back out again, right? And I say that because within like the last 2 years, year and a half, you guys, I went through a lot. So much so where the average person would ask, how the heck is she still standing, right? And I did it so gracefully. I did it a lot of days with a smile on my face. I did it a lot of days with laughter in my spirit. And I went through things, you guys. Like, I watched my dad die. I helped him throughout, like I was his caretaker. During his process, my dad died from an addiction. Directly after my dad died, I ended up pregnant and I had a miscarriage. The next thing you know, my husband and I started going through some things and I filed for divorce. I'm taking care of my sister, making sure she's good. I'm still a wife. I'm still a mom to 3 kids. And the next thing you know, I start experiencing severe anxiety. And I even was diagnosed with depression, but I never, ever claimed it because I knew that I was so much bigger and larger than that, right? Not discrediting anybody who does claim it, but me, who God called me to be, no way. And I remember when the doctors told me that I was depressed, the first person I thought about was Lisa Nichols, because they told Lisa Nichols she was depressed and she was like, give me 90 days. And that's what I said. I said, give me 90 days. Like, let me get myself together. And I started going through really bad anxiety episodes. One anxiety episode was so bad, it caused me to go into panic, and my husband had to call the ambulance because I couldn't even talk. I was stuttering, I was shaking, I felt like I couldn't breathe. Things were just going crazy. And then my primary doctor prescribed me Xanax. But if you know me, you know that I'm a very strong-willed person. And Xanax just wasn't for me. I never took the pill. To this day, I have yet to medicate because I feel like I'm capable. I got this. I can do this. And I can work through this, right? And I remember when the doctor said, well, I'm gonna prescribe you something. It's called Xanax, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know nothing about it, but I'm a big time researcher. So I went home, I researched it, and I found out that what Xanax was and how it operated. And I was like, let me schedule an appointment because I gotta give him this bottle of medicine back. And I gave it back to him, but it triggered so much in me, right? Because Xanax is a highly addictive medication. And it's used to treat anxiety and depression disorders and things of that nature. But it's severely addictive. And not only that, withdrawing from Xanax could be extremely deadly. And it made me think about my dad. And it sent me into another rabbit hole of emotions because I'm like, I cannot repeat the cycle. Like, this is when God came to me. He told me, like, you have come and I have created you to be a curse breaker, a generational shaker, to change the dynamics and to disrupt this planet and earth. I need for you to be strong. It's not going to be easy, but I need for you to trust me and be steadfast, you guys. And to this day, I am still doing that. I'm still trusting. I'm still being steadfast. And I'm still standing, right? I have yet to still figure out how, right? And some people are asking me, like, how is she still standing through all of these things? And now I'm being afforded an opportunity to actually speak about these things. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm running into a shell. I'm running behind a bush. And I'm just scared. I'm scared. And I just want to talk to you guys about what I've been doing. Now that I got that off my chest, I just want to talk to you guys about what I've been doing to process through all of these things, right? So I wrote this down yesterday because this is a part 2 from the video from yesterday. I wrote this down yesterday and I put, number 1, you guys, I have been being extremely cautious about the things that I think and the things I think to myself and the things that I speak to myself, both consciously and subconsciously, right? So whenever I don't feel like doing something or I attempt to think myself out of something, I always ask myself, if I did not have the ability to think about this right now, what would I do? And always the answer is, I would just do it, right? So then I tell myself, okay, just do it. And that forces me to get up, to get moving, to knock out my tasks, to do the work, to make the phone call, to say the prayer, to put the clothes on, to get myself dressed, to go out the house. That forces me to do whatever it is I wanted to talk myself out of doing, right? Just tell yourself, if I didn't have the capacity to think about what to do next, or how I did not want to do whatever I'm doing next, what would I do? And the answer is, you would likely just do it, right? I'm also practicing evening forgiveness, right? So when I say evening forgiveness, it's because I realized that a lot of the pressure that I experienced came from myself, right? I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to create the best client experience. I want to be the best mom. I want to be the best wife. I want to be the best friend. I want to complete all of my tasks. I want to just be great, right? But at the same time, I don't have enough time in a day in order to do every single thing, right? And there is a space where I have to put me in, because there's sometimes I do experience guilt. I experience wife guilt. I experience mom guilt. I experience business guilt. I experience self guilt, right? And at any moment that I would fall short at anything, I would reprimand myself with guilt and pressure. Okay. So if I wasn't able to complete something, I would go to bed heavy, like, dang, I cannot believe I did not do this. If I wasn't able to attend something, I go to bed heavy, like, dang, I feel like a horrible person. How could I not do this? Right. I would discipline myself with guilt and pleasure, and that's not healthy. So recently I have been practicing my evening forgiveness. So that way, if I miss something or if I fall short during the day, I forgive myself for that at evening time, at nighttime. And when I wake up the next morning, whatever it is, I just make sure I get it done. But I am becoming okay with the fact that I am not going to be able to be everybody's hero. God did not put a cape. Y'all see a cape? I don't see no cape on my back. And I have to be okay with the fact that I can only do so much. But if I prioritize what needs to be done and get it done, whatever I don't complete will be done the next day, as long as God gives me grace to be here, right? 3, I've been practicing writing in the evening time versus writing in the morning time. So at first, I used to write in the morning time just to make sure, I would get out all of my thoughts and things for the morning and have a good kickstart to my day. Now, I make sure I work out in the morning time, but in the evening time, I'll do my writing. So that way I can unpack all of my emotions, my thoughts, my feelings, my ideas, my stresses, and etc. from the day that I just had, right? And when I write, you guys, it's not always bad. It's not always good. Sometimes it's in the middle and neutral. But I just write to say how I feel, what I experienced that day, what conversations look like, if anything triggered me, what triggered me and how did it make me feel, what visuals did I get, because I'm a visual person, and if I'm triggered, I see it before I feel it. Like if I'm triggered, I'll see the trigger, then I'll feel the trigger, and then that's what makes me experience whether it's a happy emotion, a sad emotion, or all of the emotions at one time, because I could go from angry to sad to happy to pissed off to wanting to be revengeful, right? So I noticed that those visual triggers that I experience sends me into a spiral of emotions. And when that happens, I make sure that at nighttime or that evening time, I write out what it was I was feeling that day. And some days are good days, some days are bad days, some days are neutral, but whatever I'm experiencing that day, I write it out, okay? 4, I cut out all my electronics at 8 p.m. No longer am I watching YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neighbor, at Nextdoor app, none of that stuff. I cut out all of my electronics at 8 p.m. because I don't want to be distracted. And a lot of times, what I look at feeds my spirit, right? And granted, my timeline isn't filled with things that are negative, but some things I will see when it comes down to death, or kidnapping, or, something just happening in the world. I cut that stuff out. I don't want to see it because it does play a part in how I feel on a day-to-day basis, okay? And then 5, you guys, I've been practicing brutal honesty. I've always considered myself like a fairly honest person, but recently, you guys, I was honest with my clients because last week, I did not respond back to nobody's text message. I did not answer anybody's call. I just kind of ghosted, right? And again, that guilt fell in and I felt guilty. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I'm doing this, right? But I needed that time and space because I was in a space which kind of birthed this, where I needed to figure out what was next. And I knew that I was not healthy for nobody. I could not answer a question. I could not take a call. And I did not want to transfer my energy. So because of that, I didn't answer nobody's phone call. I didn't respond to nobody's text message. I didn't do any of that. Once the weekend went away and the week came, we had Memorial Day Monday. On Tuesday, I reached back out to all of my clients. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm sorry, right? But I was brutally honest. I didn't tell them my whole life story, but I was brutally honest. I said, listen, hey, I'm sorry. I got your text message and I saw your missed call. However, I had to take some time off because I needed some time to mentally get myself together. I needed a mental break. I needed an emotional break. I had to unplug because I had to work on myself. So I wasn't able to assist you during those days. However, I'm back, and if you're still available, if you still want to talk to me, I'm here and I'm willing to work with you and answer any questions that you may have. Do you guys know that each of my clients respected it? Not only did they respect it, but they understood it. And they was like, listen, you are human. I get it. 2 of my clients was like, girl, I get it. I'm having me a mental break right now. I don't want to see no houses until Friday. I'm kind of off. And I'm like, listen, we'll catch up then, right? So I'm practicing that brutal honesty because that released the pressure off of me. I felt guilty not speaking to them. But when I went to go talk to them, normally I'd be like, it's been 4 days. I still haven't reached out. You know what? Let me just not even reach out. Maybe they'll find somebody else. Like, that would be my mindset, to be honest with you, because I felt so guilty and so bad that I did not reach out, that I felt like if I reached out, it would be embarrassing. So I wouldn't talk. But now I'm like, no, sis, just be honest. Listen, I got your message. I appreciate your message. I wanted to respond to you. I wanted to answer your question, but in that moment, I just wasn't healthy for you. And I'm here now, and I just wanted to make sure you were still available, right? And the feedback that I got from my clients was amazing. I even told a few of my friends, like, girl, listen, I love my clients because they get it. They understand. So that's just what I got for today, you guys. This is just the behind the scenes. Y'all pray for me. I'm praying for y'all. I know that God is doing something amazing because God is about to shift this entire atmosphere. And God has called me to some people, and God has assigned some people to me. And I don't know what it's going to look like for us. I don't know what God has planned, but all I know is that something's about to happen. Something's about to happen. Something's about to shift. Something's about to shake. Just get ready, y'all. Have a good day.